Alrighty, I'm back out in my messy garage and I want to try to progress some work on my bus. Now, I've been doing a lot of work off camera. I did probably about 3 or 4 days of just straight with the flap wheel grinding, welding, grinding, welding, grinding. I just kept going, find a hole, patch it, grind it. I did that for about 3 or 4 days. So, to make a long story short, from this section till this section, the frame has been completely de-rusted, ground, and painted. I seam sealed all my welds to protect them, aka make them look better. But anyway, I'm happy with this so far. This section is done. Now, what I would like to move on to next is this section here, which is a little bit scary, and that's the whole inner seal door track arrangement. And I'm just lining this up here, and I'm having a little bit of a hard go. If you mess this up, the door will not slide open and shut. And apparently it doesn't take very much to throw this out of whack. So I've got the inner seal, or the inner rocker. I've got the outer with the door track assembly. And this all kind of merges together. There's the inner splash shield. There's the front dog leg. And there's also the B-pillar. I'll show this here in a sec. All right, so like I was just saying, this is a bit of a tough spot. I've got this sort of held in place, but I'm not even really sure of the alignment because the new top hats that are on the back, they have a lip that points up, so I'm not really sure what height this is supposed to be. But anyway, this piece goes in here. You've got the whole middle. I think this is comes with the middle rocker with the door track arrangement. Kind of goes on top here. Now I'm not going to be able to put it in because that clamp is in the way. So that all goes in here and gets sandwiched together. At the same time, there's this inner splash shield that goes something like this on the inside. And that's what's going to repair the missing metal here from my bulge piece, I think. I'll put this in like that. You can see that this kind of tentatively lines up, and this is going to close up that gap. So this goes in, and at the same time, there's the B pillar that's going to go like this. But then I'm also getting into the dog leg. And for whatever reason, I guess in my own brain box, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take care of this section here before I moved forward. And this has become almost like a chicken and an egg thing. Like what comes first? What should I do first? I mean, I've watched quite a few videos, obviously, because I follow a lot of VW guys, but it's not really clear what comes first. So I don't know. And I really wanted to get on with this because of what I just got from my buddy Don. So Don is a VW guy that I follow. His channel is called VW Adventures. And a friend of his was down working on his bus. They were working on the bus together. And they had a spare one of these pieces. So he sent this down. And I had been waiting for one of these from CIP1 because they were sold out. And what this is this is an inner repair panel for the door. So I have a door skin for my door somewhere in this garage, I think on the other side. I've got a door skin for this, but what I needed was the inner structure, and now I have it. So in my head, I wanted to get this door track business done and then start working on this door and work my way forward. But I think right now I don't think it's really going to happen that way. I think what I'm going to do instead, because I'm running into a few clearance issues here with this old metal that was welded in. Somebody had put a plate in. I probably mentioned this in a previous video. I'm going to nibble away at this. I'm going to figure out this B post. I think I see spot welds in here. I'm going to try to drill these spot welds out, cut this off, and I'm going to start nibbling away at the I'm not going to take the whole dog leg off, but I'm going to at least nibble away this area so I can get in there and see what I'm doing. And if I can get this done, I should be able to figure out where that splash shield goes. And then it should align with this. And the other thing I was saying, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. The Clocker Home top hats, the ends have a lip that curls up. I don't know if that lip is meant to be pointing up. It has to be. I don't know how else it would go. The original top hats, I'll just take this down here. It's going to come crashing, but the original top hats are flush on the top, and the Clocker Home ones have a lip like this. So I assume the lip is meant to be pointing up, and maybe that's what determines the height. But I'm only guessing, and the height has to be right, because otherwise the door won't work. So anyway, this is where I'm at. I'm going to do some nibbling in here, and I'm going to try to get this lined up. And if I can get this lined up, I might throw a couple of tacks. Then I might try to throw the door track on top of it, only with a couple tacks. And then maybe I could just try to pick this door up, and these doors are flipping heavy. I could try to put the door back on. If a couple of tacks will hold the weight of that, I could just try the door. And if I'm in the right, if this seems like it wants to work, then I'll forge ahead and maybe finish this off properly in this arrangement, and then overhaul this door. Okay, let's start chopping in here. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, because I've ordered a dog leg complete, so my complete dog legs are here, and they come with all the inner structure, so I think it's going to be okay to butcher all this, because you can buy the cheap dog legs that are just skins, then you buy the other pieces for inside, but I paid up and I got the complete ones. So once this is out of the way, I think my splash shield is going to fit in here quite good, and that's going to make up that section that's missing there, part of the bulge. This is going to be the back side of the bulge. As far as the B pillar, it doesn't look like there's any other steel. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe there was another layer of steel in here that I had to peel back, but I don't think there is. So what I do have to do is preserve this lip on the inside. And I think I see spot welds. And that would kind of make sense because that could be spotted in sort of like this. Spot, spot, spot. So I'm gonna take my spot weld cutter now. My spot weld cutter. I'm gonna try to drill these out, and if I can separate this, then I'll just cut this off, and then I'll have this whole area blown open. Let's try that. Alrighty, so I've got this area here now all cut away. I've kind of got the splash shield in place, and I say kind of because it's such a flimsy piece of metal. That's kind of where it's going to go in, and you can see the tentative alignment of that shape, but I can't really use this as a reference. So back to this piece now. This is my dilemma here. Is the height. I kind of got, if this is right back here, if I bring the piece all the way to the very end, because this is where the floor comes, so the floor would sit on top of this. I'm assuming this makes sense, and my lip is curled up on my Clocker Home top hat. So if I let this sit on the lip of the Clocker Home top hat, there's this one, this one. These ones don't have one, and these beams don't have one either, so this tends to want to just sit down like this, but it's got to be raised up, and this is my difference here. I believe it's got to be raised up, so at this point I'm not sure what I should do. Maybe just take a measurement, because I've got a level. I mean, I'm in the middle of building a deck in my backyard. If any of you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, I do have another channel, House on Pleasant Street channel, and I do home renovations and fixes and repairs and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm in the middle of building a deck, and this bus frame is built exactly like a deck. With 2 joists, some stringers, and then the floor is basically your top boards. So anyway, I've got my level, and if my level sits like this, this is just how the bus happens to be sitting, with the edge of the bubble hitting this line, could I then just put this on here and adjust it until steady. I could just lift that up until the bubble is the same amount as the main frame rails. So does not seem like a very accurate way of doing things. And I was told that even in the welding process, this thing can warp and cause your door to not operate properly. So this is a right can of worms here. So I think maybe what I'll do is I will just put a couple tacks. I think I'll just put a couple tacks, and then I can take all these clamps out of the way, and I'll try to put that one on top. See what I'm left with, and maybe even try to wrestle that door. See if it's anywhere near. Okay, well, I'm still experimenting here. I think I'm close, but I mean, I don't think close is gonna work. But anyway, I've got this clamped in place. I don't know if I can catch all this. And there's probably somebody who watches this that's going to be screaming, thinking, what's this idiot doing? But so the inner rocker is touching the back arch of the fender. It's sitting on the lip of the Clocker Home top hat. Number one. Number two, this one does not have a lip. And I just had the splash shield in here. It kind of tentatively lines up, kind of, although this is no reference because it's just a flimsy piece of metal, but you see that we're probably maybe in the ballpark ish. Okay, the other thing I'm doing is well, I've got a level and the bubbles on the edge of the black line, and down here the bubbles on the edge of the black line, sorry. And then when I took a piece of steel like this, I don't even know if you can see that. That's the height of that top hat. This one's off by a hair. The original one is off even more. But now the front one is just like number one on the back. So, I don't know. I mean, these look awful straight. I mean, the level's on there. There's no rocking or anything. That's sturdy. So, I don't know how symmetrical this is. Anyway, I'm at the point now that I just really don't know. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a couple tacks. I'm going to tack that there. Maybe tack one on the inside, and then there's a hole here for a plug, so I'm going to put a little glob in here, and then I'll be able to take these clamps out of the way and then attempt to see where I'm at with this with the door slider. So let's do that here. Okay, so I've got both of my pieces tacked in, and they're pretty close in the front. Now my you know, I've got questions here. Let's be real. This is not for when you're working on a VW bus and you're a novice like me to air-cooled buses. This is not really a project. This should not be really one of your first projects. I mean, this is not for a novice. But anyway, I've got the inner rocker is tacked, only tacked in two spots. And I've got the middle rocker with door track assembly just held in with the clamps. And I mean, you can see it's kind of obvious. That's kind of where this would go. It's kind of logical. It kind of ends here, sort of where this bulge piece is going to be, where this jacking point's going to be, and top hat that's going to come in here. There's still a little bit of wiggle. I mean, I do have play because there's nothing left of my bus here. So this whole corner can move like this. But I've got the piece brought up exactly to where I had cut it off. And of all the old metal, I did keep this. This is exactly where that came off. So you can see this notch, is exactly this notch here. So it kind of looks, you know, that used to go there, so I could kind of see where it's kind of logical. I mean, this could probably be, now, here's the thing, how much of this do I do? Like this should be attached to the top hat, and that shouldn't move. So anyway, I think this is okay. There's a little recess down. Where was I? Okay. I see now that my cut was in the raised part. So that means that this has to push in. Good thing I kept that. So that means that this has to push in like this. That'll have to push in so that this has to land on this, the raised. Okay, so I'm learning here, Now underneath, like back here, it looks kind of okay. They're lined up, and ouch, and the pinches, like this is gonna be good for, I use my pinch welder and I'll come down and do all that, but that'll be for after. So I'm a little bit on the right track, unfortunately. Really, the only way to really know is to do more welding and then just try the door. But like for right now, I'm not sure. I brought in my old piece of floor just because, to see if I could figure anything out. And of course that didn't really help at all, because the floor looks like it's lower than this, and I don't know if that makes any sense. At first I thought this part had to go over, but I think they have to be, now I don't know if they just have to be butt together. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be welded together. I don't know. If that's the case, then this would have to come down a hair, which it probably looks like it might want to, and then be welded to this, but I'm not sure. I am not sure if that's supposed to be welded or not. It probably is, but I'm not going to be jumping in and doing anything this radical. Now, for right now, I think I'm just going to walk away and think about this for a minute, and I'm going to come back with a clear head either later tonight or tomorrow, and I'm going to have another look at this, and I just might throw some more tacks on there and try to wrestle this door in place just to see what I'm left with. So this is where I'm at right now. I've actually repositioned these two pieces about 3 times now, and I'm not sure if they're right, but the inner rocker, again, I've got that tacked into place, and this here, where the middle rocker slash door track assembly comes in here, this is looking okay, as in this looks like a match, and this is exactly where that was. So I think I'm on the right track here. Lengthwise, they're both sort of the same length. I've got it sort of just tacked to the fender, well, just to hold it in place. And in the front, these two are kind of like, at this point, they kind of overlap, so I think it's pretty, I'd like to think it's pretty self-aligning, although this piece here does hang down further than the inner one, and back here they're flush, so I don't know. This one is a Clocker Home, so although it is heavy duty, you know, they're not known for their precision, so this is where I'm at. And what I want to do is I want to tack this a little bit better, put more clamps on the bottom, and I want to try to throw this door on just to see what happens. My biggest thing now is I don't really know. I've got the inner and the door track arrangement, this part here sort of at the same level. Now I don't know if one has to be higher than the other, when my floor comes in, when I do get my floor, of course I have my old floor, but that's just the middle section. What I need to see is what's around here. I don't know how this is going to work. And I don't know if this has to be welded. I don't know. I know it's got to be pinch welded on the bottom for sure. Both inner, middle, and outer. I've got an outer here. An old one I saved, although I don't... At this point I can't really see me reusing this one. I don't think this one's very expensive. So anyway, this one goes underneath like this when all said and done. And it also gets pinched underneath. So do the three of them get pinched underneath? I'm not sure. Should this one be raised up more? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess it can't. They sort of have to align this way because one forms on top of the other. Now in the front, they're not exactly the same length, so I'm not exactly sure. I've got them butt at the back, so I don't know what's going to go on in here. So yeah, I have more questions than answers right now, but I think what I'm going to do is just put a few more tacks on this inner, a couple of tacks maybe on this door track, because that door is very heavy, and I'm going to throw the door on. I'm going to make a path. I'm going to clear up a little bit here and try to put this into place. Okay, moment of truth. All right, well, you saw that in the fast motion there. It's kind of the end of the day, and I was just, those doors are heavy, and one person doing that, I mean, if you kind of know where the alignment is, that's fine, and the bottom is all jagged, rusty metal, so you saw me, I used my engine hoist. So the door, I mean, it's not great, but I don't think this is abnormal. I think for a first go, at least it's in, and I can see it looks like there's a bit of a twist there, so I think when I weld, I'll have to make sure that that's angled down. See, when I was putting my foot on it and opening and shutting, it was better. And I mean, this is also a brand new piece, and it's also a Clocker home, so I mean, I suppose it would wear itself in over time. But I'm going to call this a small success for now. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to come back tomorrow, take this door off again, and then I'm going to weld this. I'm just going to weld it and see what happens. All right.